I'm Stud.
And we are here with a Star Wars set.
We've got the Rancor Pit.
Oh yeah!
As you know, you can connect this set to Jabba's Palace and check out the Brick Queen's review on how to connect both, and we'll put a link to that in the description.
This is set number 75005, ages 8 to 14, the Rancor Pit, and it has 380 pieces.
And we get the awesome monster fig of the Rancor. Let's get a better look right now. Let's zoom in! Welcome to the Rancor Pit. This set is a one booker, so we get one large guide. That is a lot of pages. Does it say how many pages? No. But it is a large book, so we do this all in one shot. No breaking this puppy up. Although it is a quick build, not very complicated, we get the Rancor, Luke Skywalker, Malakili, he is the Rancor Keeper, this dude, who's crying, and we'll get to why in a little bit, a Gamorrean Guard, otherwise known as Rancor Food, and the skeleton that is not listed as a minifigure on the box, so it is up to your interpretation if this is a minifigure or not. But we have seen lots of skeletons in the past from lots of different sets, but this was a prior meal of the Rancor, clearly. And you know what we're going to do right now? We're going to get these minifigures, including the Rancor, up on the pedestal and get a nice close look. Start right off with the star of the show, although he lived a very short life in Return of the Jedi. This is the Rancor. Just an enormous figure given to us by Lego. Now, his arms do move. His feet and legs do not move, but his fingers do move, and then the fingernails you do get to put together as well. So the same is true on both hands. Also, the wrists do turn. So you can put him in a lot of different configurations. It looks kind of scary there. In addition, his mouth also opens and closes. And that's so he can eat people, because of course that's what he lives on, and that's why he got so enormous. There's printing on his eyes. You can get a better look right there. And then the printing on the teeth as well. And on his cuff, how they keep him chained up, there is printing, great printing there. And that is our Rancor. And this is Luke Skywalker. You know, Luke comes in Return of the Jedi, he's all like, cool Luke now, because he's a Jedi. He's feeling all confident about himself, going in to speak to Jabba before he gets dropped into the Rancor Pit. So this is that Luke. This is confident Luke. Not the Luke that we were introduced to in A New Hope. Episode 4, for those that don't know. Anyhow, he has the bone, and he also has a double-sided face. I've removed his accessory, and there is the other side of Luke. Happy Luke. And here is Malakili, the Rancor Keeper. So he had love for the Rancor, and when the Rancor met his end, Malakili was not happy about it. So I'm going to take off his hood so you can see the rest of him. Well, here is the sad keeper of the Rancor with the tear coming out, because after the Rancor dies, he weeps. Oh, he weeps. he needs tissues so we can take care of that business. But there you see the printing on the front and on the back. And there he is. Here is our Gamorrean guard that ends up being a meal for the Rancor. And he's kind of put together similar to like how Chewbacca is. That's just one piece that comes right off. So you can see it's just a blank torso. But he's cool. Lots of detail, as you can see. Eyes, snout, horns, teeth. His strap. And there is our Gamorrean guard. Moving on to the pit itself. This is where the Rancor lives, and they've left it open on 3 of the sides. I'm just gonna give you a look so you can see all the way around. And the door, or I should say the pit itself, opens. So you can see the hinges back here, and there is a clip here to keep it shut when you want to play and get the Rancor in there. Then you can open it like so. You can see that there are places for things to keep the pit nice and tidy. So here's the key, here is a rake, there's a bucket. Here we have some food, so we get a turkey leg in a box. Here the floor pulls up, and there is another key and a bone from someone's remains, of course. On this side, there is a door that opens, and you can put a minifigure right inside. There are actually a couple of studs there, so Luke can go in there and hide and wait for the right moment to come out. And try to attack the Rancor. Now let's talk about the cage. So I'm going to lift the cage up, and this is just one big piece, and it slides in and will drop and fall on the Rancor. That's how the Rancor meets his end. But if you just wanted it up, say halfway, you can do that by just pushing this piece in and then letting it go and having it drop. So this actually is up, and then Luke is able to throw a rock, right, and hit this button, and that is what actually triggers the cage to drop and smash on top of the Rancor. The Gamorrean guard, unintentionally, but what ends up happening is the Rancor does not care. The Rancor is just simply hungry, and well, it is the guard that gets it first. And you can see that he just fits right in there perfectly now, doesn't he? Well, that's what ends up happening to our Gamorrean guard. And if you wanted to kind of do like a brick film stop motion of this, I think you'd be able to do it, because you can just kind of get him in there, and then to continue with your stop motion, you can just kind of have his feet in there like that, and it would give the effect that he's eaten him up completely, and you can just kind of close his mouth and it looks like he's all the way inside. Now the scene starts with both Luke and the Gamorrean guard being dropped into the Rancor pit, Luke on purpose. Now a key moment in this scene is when Luke finds a large bone, and instead of the Rancor taking a bite out of Luke, Luke sticks this bone in the Rancor's mouth, which of course he ultimately just snaps right in half. But this bone, I thought would fit inside, but it does not. So his jaw doesn't open wide enough to fit this big bone in, but we do know that the reason that we get the bone in the set is to represent, you know, that part of the scene, so you can do your best trying to get it in there. But it's not going to sit up and down, because in the scene, he just kind of wedges it in there, and then Rancor smashes on it, but it buys Luke some time to run over and hide, and then ultimately find the rock that he throws, and the cage comes crashing down. Now the Rancor on his own just barely fits inside the pit, as you can see, because his arms and hands are so large. It's kind of hard to move him around in there, which is why it's nice when you open this up, and it kind of gives you some more playability. But if you want to reenact the scene where the Rancor dies, and what happens is he's going through it, and the cage drops right on the top of his head. So you can't do that because the legs don't move, so you can't lay the Rancor down. But what I do is I just move his hands up like this, and then we can kind of lay him in this way. I'm going to shut it, and then we can pull on this, and that, I think, is as close as we're going to be able to do to actually reenacting the scene. Well, thanks for watching our review of the Rancor Pit, probably the most anticipated Star Wars set for this winter wave. And there you go.
The monster minifigure. 10 times bigger than a regular minifigure. It's really big. This is a regular minifigure and like a ginormous minifigure. That's crazy.
Well, this is from one of my favorite scenes out of Return of the Jedi. And as you know, Luke ends up killing the Rancor in a way where he throws a rock and it hits the button and the cage comes down and crushes into the Rancor. So, you know, I like that.
This set.
Yeah, we finally get that set, and we finally get to act out that scene. And the way it connects to another set modularly is also something we really dig.
But my favorite minifigure out of the set is gotta be Luke Skywalker.
Because he's your brother? That's right, your brother's name is Luke. Luke!
I am your father.
Alright, well thanks for watching. We'll have more Star Wars action for you on your creative friends, so keep it right here!